Hi, Karen. Thanks for coming on the interview today.
Good morning, Dr. Westman.
I'm interested in learning why you would want to invest in the Heal clinics.
Okay. Well, I can tell you a little bit about our story. My husband and I both eat low carb and or ketogenic most of the time, and we have been doing so for about 5.5 years. Probably about 5 years ago, we stumbled upon low carb watching a documentary on Amazon, and I was intrigued because I have a medical background and I'd never really heard some of those concepts before. I was just taught the traditional way of eating, standard American diet kind of thing. So I have a biology background, so I started looking into every person medically and other professionals that were listed in the video. And I actually went through the video, stopped and started it, wrote down the names of the doctors and authors and researchers, and went and checked out all their books from the library. So I read quite a lot in those last few months, or those first few months. And my husband and I both just went generally low carb because we didn't really have a clear understanding of what to do with it. We just we started cutting carbs, bread and rice and sugar, mostly white stuff. So we both lost weight initially very, very well, and we wanted to kind of know more about it. So your name was, of course, one of the ones that had come up in that process. So I had gotten the new Atkins for the new you, and I don't think we had it on Audible, but we took a driving trip across the country to go to my niece's wedding, and so I actually read him parts of the book on the way back because we decided we were really going to figure it out and start, strictly when we got back. So that was really my first introduction into low carb and ketogenic way of eating. So I have continued to read up on it and really been convinced that the science is sound and that more and more people are going to learn how to eat this way, and that it should and hopefully will become the standard recommendation for ways of eating. So that's, we really believe that it has a lot of scientific basis, and so we wanted to support that furthering of that education, and particularly in use for medical conditions. My husband actually was pre-diabetic. He had A1C of 6, and mine was, probably at 6 at some point. I technically got off with a 5.9. But we both had our A1Cs go down. Diabetes is very prevalent in his family. His father had it before he died, and his uncle died from it as well. And so it's definitely a family history. And so we were certainly very interested in figuring out how to reverse that and how to not continue to pass it on to our kids. My father-in-law, I saw him struggle greatly in his last several years of life. I was actually one of his healthcare providers some of the period of time. And if I had known how to help him adjust his carbs, I think he would have been a lot more comfortable and had a lot better quality of life. I keep learning about low carb, and so when the Heal Care Clinic investment opportunity came up, my husband and I discussed it and decided that we had a little bit of money we were looking to invest. So we wanted to help promote Heal Care as helping legitimize a ketogenic and low carb way of eating. As a side note, our daughter, who is 14, not the one who was just helping me, but the younger one, also got diagnosed with prediabetes, and her pediatrician wasn't really that interested in hearing about ketogenic or low carb, but I just said we were going to have her eat healthy fruits and vegetables and cut out sugar. So we proceeded to do that, and her A1C went from 6 to 5.5 in probably it was less than a year, but by the time she had it rechecked, it was about a year. So one of the main reasons why we invest is because we just really believe in it, and we enjoy learning more about it and meeting the people who are doing the research, and wanted to participate in some way in furthering the education.
Fantastic. When I met Dr. Atkins in 1998, I wanted to find out, just like you, whether it worked and it was safe and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what motivated me to do the early research at Duke, to show that it was safe and healthy, and isn't part of this. You don't want everyone else to have to go out and do all that research and all that.
No, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. I mean, every blogger in the world is jumping on the keto bandwagon right now, and I actually am part of some Facebook groups and such, and you just hear so much misinformation floating around. And I think that there's still the idea that it's a fad diet, which, as you and I know, isn't really true. And I think that a medical approach legitimizes it versus, you know, the local blogger or the blogger across, you know, the world for that matter, you know, giving their opinions and ways to do it. And there's lots of different ways to do it. And I think it has to be personalized, but there's some basic principles that I think really apply across the board. And I love the idea of legitimizing that.
Yeah, so Heal Care with Heal Clinics allows you to do keto right. You know,
Yeah.
do it the correct way, and it's so reliable and robust. Thank you for your story and your journey and your interest in the Heal Clinics. It just to reiterate, it's not like a Kickstarter where you're giving away money or funding something. You're actually buying stock in the company. So
yeah, and we feel really good about buying stock. I mean, we didn't have a ton of money to invest, but we had a little bit, so we wanted to get involved in some way, and we really think this is the way people need to eat in the future. And so, what better way to put our money in that?
Was it an easy process to go through the Heal Clinics website? And
it was very easy. We participated. I forget what it's called. It was a Kickstarter of some kind, right? Start Engine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it was a very simple procedure, and I didn't really know about it. So Beth had let me know that it was going on, and then I clicked on the links, and it was very easy. I mean, I think we did two different investments, and I think I completed them in about 10 minutes. Yeah. So it was very, very easy. And
I was surprised that you could put it on my credit card. That was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Credit card or debit card in my case, but yeah, I mean, it was super straightforward. Of course, there's a lot of like fine print to read through, which I scanned, but because I know your history and your reputation, that, you know, validated it for me that it's, I didn't have to do a lot of digging into whether or not it was a good investment because I know your history and your professional reputation.
Thank you for your time today talking about your reasons for investing in Heal Clinics, and keep it up until the next time.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Westman.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.